Yami Gautam completes 10 years in the media, in television media and films. Actually, she's been a prominent face on Indian advertising scene. She's been a prominent face in television scene, and she's done a lot of movies that have been both entertaining and meaningful. Yummy! Cheers to your success.
How sweet. Never done this. With the green tea.
10 years, a decade is long enough.
Actually, I don't know. I just feel I've just begun. And the only reason I get reminded is when, you know, all the journalists are just asking this question, but it doesn't feel like 10 at all.
It doesn't feel?
Yeah, it doesn't feel because I think with a simple reason I feel more, I just feel like I've just begun, like literally. And which is great.
But you do have a fresher's glow on your face too. I mean, let me tell you that.
Absolutely. And
you
this
don't
is a
look
secret
like
in my
a
hand,
decade-year-old.
which I've just given to you. Yeah.
The green tea. Okay. So what's the secret to this glowing beauty?
Very, very different answer you're about to hear.
Tell me.
Have lots of water and amazing people in your life. Really, who keep you happy. And Baki, you have an amazing hair and makeup team.
And lots of romance post-marriage, huh? Lots of romance.
I think just happy. Just happy.
Yeah. Congratulations on your marriage
you.
too.
Yes, going to be 1 year soon. Yeah,
1 year. So she's married to Aditya Dhar. Obviously, you know that he's the director of one of the biggest hits, Uri, one of the biggest hits of that year. So a great team, a great duo.
Of Indian cinema.
Of Indian cinema. Ab Bibi boli, huh?
Absolutely. And the actor also on that film.
Yeah, you were an actor too. So did love happen on the sets?
No.
Really?
No.
Very professional.
Absolutely. And we started interacting. In fact, interviews के दौरान जब आप सुनते हैं दूसरे को, you know, that's the time when some people ask you certain questions, and तब आपको हल्का सा लगता है कि अच्छा, you know, there is some wavelength in ideas and culture and values. वहाँ पर we just started talking. वहीं से friendship शुरू हुई.
Wonderful. But you know, you're an actor, and I think you're a professional first. Your professional life comes first, and then your personal life. So I will come to your personal life, but first let's talk about your work. Yami, I really liked your performance in A Thursday.
Thank you.
Where you played you played every girl basically. वो उसके दिल की बात हर लड़की के दिल की बात है. Then I loved your performance in Dasvi, जिसमें you played a very dabang police officer. It was very unlike of you. I mean, if you were not cast in that movie, I wouldn't have imagined you in that role, because you have always come across as a dainty, pretty, beautiful girl with a good heart. But here you made use of your physical prowess as much as you could. You put in that role, and several other roles like Bala and so many others. What kind of roles are your forte that you think कि even in the beginning of my career I thought कि ये roles मैं अच्छे कर सकती हूँ? You know, like Sridevi had a specific genre. Madhuri had more like dancing and those expressive roles. What has been your genre like? And have you got the roles that you were looking out for, or everything just happened while the journey was on?
No, in anyone who is coming from my background, nothing will just happen.
Your life,
you know, and you have to create and make your own journey. And up time ke saath you grow. With experience you grow and you understand your own self more than first anyone else. पहले तो इस industry को समझना है अपने आप में. It's a, you know, it's still not an answer that you can have on your hand.
True.
And but उसके सबसे वो छोड़ के पहले आप क्या चाहते हैं और what does this profession mean to you? You need to understand. आपने पहले जो example दिया है श्रीदेवी मैम का, she is one of my all time favorite actresses, and so is Smita Patil ji. So I have loved the kind of films these actresses have done, and in both commercial space and at the same time they are phenomenal actresses. आप उनसे कॉमेडी करवा लीजिए, आप उनसे कुछ इंटेंस ड्रामा करवा लीजिए, और any kind of film, they're fantastic at what they've done. It's so sad that we lost them. But I'm their huge fan. And तो as an actor जब मैंने एटलीस्ट शुरुआत की थी, मेरे यही था जहन में कि मुझे जो अच्छे रोल्स मिलेंगे मुझे वही करने हैं. अब वो कॉमेडी हो या विकी डोनर जैसी फिल्म हो, it doesn't matter. But जैसा आप सोचते हैं, it doesn't always happen. You know, it takes time for you to understand and how to make your way, how to express yourself, your potential as an actor, why I'm specifically saying this, because for someone like me who's not a very outgoing person, who's not a very you'll not read 20 things about me in the paper.
Yeah.
You'll not see me just anywhere and everywhere.
Yeah.
And I say this with utmost respect for anybody
people who
else
do
who
that.
do, because to each his own. तो अपने जिसमें आप बिलीव करते हैं उन वैल्यूज़ के बेसिस पर अपना मुकाम हासिल भी अभी भी बहुत जल्दी है बोलना, पर अपनी जर्नी खुद एक रिस्पेक्ट के साथ बनाना, मुझे लगता है वो मेरे लिए बहुत ज़रूरी था. तो उस टाइम वो भले ही मौके उस टाइम नहीं मिले होंगे, बट स्पेशली आफ्टर उरी एंड स्पेशली बाला के बाद व्हाट फॉलोड वाज अ ग्रेट एरे ऑफ अपॉर्चुनिटीज दैट people were like, oh, we didn't know she could do comedy, oh, we didn't know she could do this, oh, we didn't know she could do that. So क्योंकि हम perception पे ही मान लेते हैं कि अच्छा ये ऐसी थोड़ी दिखती हैं, थोड़ी reserved, she looks very dainty like how you said, then she's okay for these roles. But that's my job. My job as an actor is entirely different than how I appear or how I carry myself in real life.
But you know, that is one of the biggest problems of the industry. In fact, when I watch movies, even I may have formed preconceived notions about an actor कि ये ऐसे ही role में शायद नजर आएगी. How do you break those perceptions, especially when you say that you are not a person who's too outgoing or hobnobbing with people or in the parties or in the party circuit or even just in the circuit, right, where the directors are there and the producers? How do you break the perceptions of people? How did you reach out to the directors and tell them that I can do this role and I can do comedy and I can do Bala and I can do Dasvi and I can do that? That is the problem every actor faces. I have been in conversation with almost all the actors. The biggest problem is reaching out and telling the world that I am a multifaceted person and don't bracket me. What's the process of unbracketing?
I think one of the ways to figure that out is with a look test. Or you read a line or you read some lines. जैसे for Bala, और ये वेस्ट में बहुत होता है, बहुत कॉमन है. आप चाहे जितने बड़े एक्टर हों, जितने भी बड़े स्टार्स हों, मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स दे हैव टू रीड आउट अ सीन एंड उनको कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है उससे. यहाँ पे वो अभी कल्चर नहीं है. यहाँ पे आपको लगेगा कि अरे आप मुझे सीन पढ़ने को बोल रहे हैं पर कोई और एक्टर से तो आपने नहीं पढ़वाया, और आपको लगता है आप अच्छे एक्टर हैं तो ऐसा क्यों. बट एनीवेज, अब आप ऐसा क्यों सोच के चलेंगे तो फिर काम नहीं बनेगा. मुझे उस टाइम ये था दैट आई हैव टू गेट दिस, बिकॉज मैं ऑलरेडी फॉर एग्जांपल जो दिनेश विजन है उनके साथ ऑलरेडी बदलापुर कर चुकी थी. मैं उनसे मीटिंग के लिए आई थी. वहीं दौरान अमर वहाँ थे, तो वी जस्ट स्टार्टेड टॉकिंग एंड अमर ने ऑफ कोर्स उस टाइम स्त्री ऑलरेडी कर ली थी रिलीज. और फिल्म देखकर समझ आता है कि किस तरह का माइंडसेट है एक डायरेक्टर का, किस तरह की एस्थेटिक सेंस है. और वो बहुत ही अच्छे इंसान है और बहुत ही अच्छे डायरेक्टर तो ऑफ कोर्स हैं ही. तो वी वर जस्ट टॉकिंग एंड ही सेड, उन्होंने उस टाइम कुछ नहीं कहा बट बाद में था दैट एक है फिल्म बट वो रोल बिल्कुल यू नो अलग है आपकी पर्सनालिटी से और किसी ने आपको इस तरह से नहीं करते हुए देखा. तो आप सुनना चाहेंगे? मैंने कहा हाँ. तो कहते आप, उन्होंने मुझे एक सीन दिया क्योंकि आपके अपने अंदाज में या जो आपकी समझ में आता है आप ये कैसे बोलती. मैंने पढ़ा एक बार और जो मैंने इमेजिन किया, जो मुझे समझ में आया, मैंने बोला. उन्होंने वो अच्छा लगा. So that's my character.
Nice.
That is Pari.
Nice.
So आप अपने रास्ते फिर खुद बनाइए. This is the best way. This is the most impartial way to get the correct roles जो आपको लगता है आप deserve करते हैं.
वो line क्या थी? Yami, I'm inquisitive. You painted such a nice picture.
वो scene था. वो scene फिल्म में नहीं था. मतलब it was a part of a draft जहाँ पे वो बाद में I think वो नहीं था जो फाइनल ड्राफ्ट बना, बट वो सुर वही था. अच्छा. उस सीन का. तो और जो पहले दिन ही शूट का वो वाला सीन था जिसमें परी को पता चलता है मेरा पति गंजा है. दैट सीन, दैट वाज द फर्स्ट डे ऑफ माय शूट एंड आई वाज सो नर्वस, बट दैट्स हाउ आई गॉट द फिल्म. उरी ऑल्सो मैं जानती थी कि प्राइमरीली फिल्म एक मिशन बेस्ड फिल्म है, बट मुझे पता था स्क्रिप्ट पढ़ के कि बहुत अच्छी स्क्रिप्ट है और ये जो डायरेक्टर हैं बहुत क्लियर हैं अबाउट व्हाट ही वांट्स आउट ऑफ दिस फिल्म. और मुझे एक ऐसा रोल दिया गया है जिसने पहले मुझे कभी किसी ने सोचा ही नहीं इस तरह के रोल में. और अगर इफ एनीवन हैज द आई फॉर अ परफॉर्मेंस, वो आपको उस सीन में समझ आ जाएगा जहाँ पे फ्रॉम अ नर्स आई टर्न इनटू द एजेंट. राइट. And then even for a Thursday in Dasvi, again Thursday with that kind of role and with that kind of you know, but I'm
Yes.
sure Behzad, I'm glad that he came to me, and I read the script and I said, I want to do this. And so with Dasvi. With Dasvi again, they said, see, you're working with Abhishek, who's tall and, you know, all that, and you're so short and you're so... I said, but you don't need to be in a certain way to look assertive. आप अपनी performance और body language से आप वो कर सकते हैं. That's my job.
That's true. You know, interestingly, when you say that now, that when you stand in one frame with another actor, such as Abhishek, he's tall and he's well built, and you are small and petite. Nawaz once said to me when he was playing a cop in Race, he says, I asked him that, weren't you a little, you know, this I am standing right opposite Shah Rukh and I'm playing the cop, and I have to be in the position of power and aggression, and that's Shah Rukh Khan after all, right? So he says, if I get scared of him, of his persona off screen, I will be cheating my role and I will be cheating myself as an actor.
Yeah.
So I think that is something
That's
that you have to acquire. Then.
Absolutely. And that's how you... That was my way of generating opportunities for myself. That मुझे ढूंढनी है वो scripts. अगर आप मेरा जितना भी filmography देखें, I've only worked with first time filmmakers or max second time filmmakers, barring one or two filmmakers. They've all been new directors. So it's always in the script, it's in the director and the role. Baki everything else falls into, you know, its place. So I as an actor will have to keep my senses open, my vision open, that yes, that's the script which has the potential, you know, to do something different.
Wow.
Or that's the director that I know I can trust him, you know, with that script. And I love being a part of the entire process, like a Thursday film like that, or any film that I do. I'm fully involved, not just in my role, but everything. Like I want to know how the editing is going to be. I want to know what's the background score. I want to know how it's being shot. It's being shot. And these are the people, the technicians who make a film.
Absolutely.
भले एक expression आपको लगे एक simple सा दिया उस वक्त, पर उसके बाद जो music add होता है, तो वो कैसे कुछ चीजें दिल को छू जाती हैं, you know. So it's these guys. So these are now the correct questions which even the audience is aware.
True.
अगर हम comments पढ़ते हैं उसमें लिखा होता है कि editing अच्छी थी, film is looking very good. So it's not just about okay who's the actor, and we are doing our job. But what they are doing is something which you know, which creates and makes it look that way.
True. Tell me about a Thursday. A Thursday was one of, I mean, a very lucky actor can get that kind of a film. It was totally resting on your shoulders. You were the hero in always. You were the hero of the film, and you were a hero in the film. You were supposed to play a vigilante, where you actually take the law in your hand, but ultimately it comes out that you were, it all had a larger purpose to it. When you take up a role or a film project, is the social relevance of that subject also important to you? What if it's politically incorrect?
A film like Thursday?
Or anything incorrect,
but you're saying anything.
Yeah,
absolutely, it's fine. I'm an actor. That's my job is to be a part of scripts that excite me and make sense to me and my director and my role. And because there are so many films that have come, I think weirdly I feel it started with Vicky, Donar, where, you know, a social subject is being amalgamated with humor. But that so many films followed up with that. But also what happened with it, कि भले आपका topic अच्छा होता था, पर ज़रूरी नहीं है कि it touched you or you felt that way. बहुत वो तब होता है जब मुझे लगता है it touches you when there's nothing pretentious about the film, where the intention is very clear. And yes, my job is not to be a part of just films with some message. The two other films that I'm doing, they have nothing to do with any messaging. It's film. It's just it's a film which you should feel engaged for what the genre is, and that's my job. ये और वो ये समझना बहुत ज़रूरी है हमें.
और ये acumen ग्रो करना, इसको इनकलकेट करना इस acumen को
बहुत ज़रूरी है। और अब यही होने वाला है। अगर आप देखें मलयालम फिल्म्स आप देखें, आप तमिल फिल्म्स देखें, कैसे इतनी अलग अलग कहानियाँ हैं, there's so many different stories, they're not even dubbed, they're only subtitles, but you watch it, you know, after 2 minutes you're just engrossed in the story. So that is what we need to.
I watched a great film called The Great Indian Kitchen.
Yes,
it had such a moving, heart-shattering subject, but it moved the viewers so much. We need to learn from, you know, various kinds of cinema and all the regional cinema and the world cinema in terms of the stories that we need to tell. I think. What do you think? What do you think Hindi cinema can learn from other cinemas, from regional cinemas? Considering that you've also done a Kannada project, right?
Yeah, I've done one in each language, and I feel today is the time, as I said,
because your husband is a director, and you know that's why I'm saying that now you're in a position to also create projects. So what are the additions that you would like to bring to the Hindi film industry?
I think as an actor myself, and I know the kind of films Aditya is also doing, which he's whether he's directing or he's going to be producing, is exactly this idea that different stories need to be told, and we should not just fall in a bracket. What happens is when a film works, it becomes successful, then 10 more films start they're getting developed on the same lines. अगर छोटे शहर की कहानी है, there were 50 छोटे शहर की heartland stories. I myself done. You know, and but as I said, like Bala was also छोटे शहर की कहानी and talking about it, a very relevant, actually many relevant issues, but it was not verbose.
It was not.
You know, it was still there was something different, a very different style of telling that story. It was written so well, and of course Amar's there, but मुझे लगता है that what we need to really learn is, first of all, there's no harm in accepting that there is something that we need to do. We need to first of all get comfortable with the idea that, because suddenly this whole debate started of Tamil film languages or Kannada or Telugu films doing so well. That's great. There is no competition. In fact, we must see and retrospect what we need to do, and this is what we need to do. We need to invest in stories and scripts. If a director approaches with a producer with a good story, the first question is only who's the hero? Who's the hero? Everything here rests on, oh, okay, if it's that face, if it's that hero, then the math says we need to put in this much money. Oh, the script is really good, but the actor is this, then not sure. So half the time you feel,
but it's changing.
Now it has to.
Changing,
It will change. It has to change. Now it's not centered on anyone.
No one. Just the story. Just the writers.
And everybody is a star in their mind today. You cannot pick up and say, okay, only this kind of film will work or that will not work. Every film has its own audience today.
True.
We still cannot predict what's going to work in theatres right now.
We
still, and even if your film is releasing only on OTT first or whatever, it will find its, if it's a good work, it will find its audience.
But tell me, Yami, for some reason I think women are still a bit objectified. You open the papers and on the page 3, all the rising faces, all the girls who are yet to or in the process of making a mark in the are under the pressure of, this is what they're wearing, this is their airport look, this is their this look, that look, and the pressure to look good all the time is there on them all the time. You being somebody who's more comfy, being at home rather than being outside, what are the pressures of an Indian actress or a Hindi cinema actress these days that she has to deal with on a daily basis?
I'm sure every generation brings a change with itself. A lot of things are self-created. Sometimes we create some certain monsters and we have to deal with them then. It's a vicious circle. Sometimes you feel no, times are changing and you have to respect that. That's the way it is. Either you be a part of it or you be ignored. But the times that we are living in right now, sadly, it's not just the actresses that I named just some time back. And I think there were less distractions back then. I'm sure there was competition back then also. There were so many good actors back then also. Today also they're really good actors, but I think there's so many distractions and there's so many parameters that have been created by the system. The system could be media, the system could be fraternity, the system could be actors themselves, or God knows who. But definitely it's there that you have to be in a certain way, and then only you know, you're an equity today. Okay, you are you come down to being a commodity today. That these many brands, these many appearances, you have to be pabbed everywhere. You have to be looked a certain way at the airport if you've seen. I feel all these things are also, especially with this burst of social media and being captured so much, is also one of the reasons why I think actors of my generation somewhere are it's a distraction.
It is a distraction, yeah.
And there was a time where there was a charm, you know, where actors enjoyed, because there was an exclusivity. An actor said once, the lesser you know about me, the easier it is for me to convince you about the character that I'm playing.
Very nice. What a lovely line.
So, but you see me everywhere. Then what's the, you know, and why this pressure? I don't succumb to this. I don't believe in it. Yes, wherever you go, you look apt. Even if I was not an actor, I would have still had a look before I walked out, which is a very basic thing to do. But and of course, you know, you're going for an event or you're dressing up for it. That's my job. But where it's not my job, I refuse to carry that pressure on my shoulder. I want to be known by the roles that I do. I want to be known the perspective that I have, and I like to keep a side of mine which is only for me and my family. And I'll rephrase that it's never work and family, it's always family, and then work, and then a whole lot of different things which are here.
Wow.
Because हम इसी चक्कर एक साइकिल में फंस जाते हैं, हमें लगता है यही वर्ल्ड है, यही लाइफ है. फटाफट देखना, I get, you know, there's so much more. We need to grow, we need to, and what happens in this whole environment of this whole new culture that has come up, you feel perceptions are made. And they're very deceptive. No? You feel, oh, you know, you can, of course, we all know that they get paid also to get, you know, there's so many things that you can pay. Some, of course, a lot are, you know, genuine also. But you think we can buy perceptions, but that's very deceptive.
That's deceptive.
And that's very distracting. So you need to decide as an actor for yourself, अगर आप कोई newcomer हैं या अगर जिनकी आप बात कर रहे थे, आपको ये देखना है कि आपको क्या चाहिए इस इंडस्ट्री से, इस प्रोफेशन से, and then you work towards it.
Okay.
That's what I feel.
Okay. And in these 10 years, Yami, what do you think have been top 5 juiciest performances of your career that you would say, wow, I'm so proud of myself, and why were they your favorite? Let's start chronologically since the beginning.
I think Vicky Donar, for sure.
Why?
I think in the very first film, it's very rare that you get to play such a substantial role, a performance-oriented role, and in a script like that, which was, we didn't know that we were paving the way, the path for something different at that time. So, and of course, I gave a lot of auditions, did a lot of workshops for that at that time. So I'm happy to know that I had that sensibility at that time to choose a script like that, and
which at the
believe,
outset was so dangerous.
Like believe, rather say more than choosing, believe in a script like that, and believe in Shujridda. He believed in me. So I think Vicky Donar.
Then?
And then I would say Uri. Uri for sure. I knew the film is based on a mission, primarily the groundwork, but for the first time somebody trusted in me that you know, let's see you in a different light, let's see you in a different role of a very dignified, a very assertive officer who's doing her job. And I thought, even that one scene where that whole transformation happens, I thought it's a very detailed thing, but I thought when I read the script, it's going to inspire a lot of young hearts to enroll into army, and that is what happened.
Okay.
Bala for sure will be one of the most important films in my career. That was a turning point in my life where that time I was looking to shift gears. I was really looking very hard for scripts and roles which are absolutely, जिसको आप बोलते हैं, anti-casting almost. And really thankful to Amar for trusting in me, standing by, and give me Pari, because she's so not like me, and hence, but the fact that she allowed me to be uninhibited in front of the camera.
Yeah, she was an honest girl यार. मतलब कोई चीज़ जब गलत है तो गलत है. मतलब वो जो सारे बर्डन्स हम औरतों पे डालते हैं कि अब शादी हो गई है तो पसंद करना ही है, पूजना ही है पति को, और वैसे ही रहना है जैसे कि धारावाहिकों में दिखाया गया है. She said नहीं. I mean, वो अपने आप में उसका डिसेंट ही एक बहुत बड़ी बात थी, राइट?
हाँ, और जबकि वो शैलो भी साउंड कर सकता है कि आप इतनी सी बात पर जो पॉइंट था आप कर रही हैं, बट फिर वो एक बात बोलती हैं कि अगर उन्होंने खुद को ही एक्सेप्ट नहीं किया तो फिर मुझसे कैसे एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं. आई थॉट इट वाज अ ब्यूटीफुल सीन, and it just changed the graph of the character completely. You know, from a ditzy TikToker to someone who has a point at a Thursday, of course, the first time that I headlined a film, and a film like a Thursday, which, as you said, in some way every girl saw herself there. In some way every mother saw for her daughter, every father, every brother, anyone who's human saw themselves there in her shoes. And the kind of personal messages that I got, I can never describe. I can never ever describe to anyone that what that feeling was. And if God forbid somebody has to go through something like that. But I thought maybe for some time, after watching the film, if someone felt that strength, that they express themselves and introduce themselves to somebody so vulnerably, but that vulnerability had strength. So it's that film. And of course, Dasvi also. Again, as you said, it was not something which we expected out of you, and but it was really fun playing that character. Also, personally, because I'm a huge admirer of Dr. Bedi's work. Bedi. Yes, I met her recently.
You were there at Goa Fest.
And although the character was fictitious, but in my mind, and it was always her. And when I met her, I mean, just to know what all work, and personally having experienced it as a child, and I remember she was posted, and then you get a character like that, I was like, doesn't matter, height, no height, petite, no petite, doesn't matter, you go all out. Also, when I was growing up, I watched this film called Company. Mohan Chetta's Company. I don't know if you watched it.
Not that company.
The Hindi film Company, which had Ajay Devgan and Manisha Koirala.
Okay, of course. Yeah.
Usme the Mohanlal sir was playing a cop. It was such a different version of playing a cop that as a kid, it just stayed with me, because until then in Hindi films we were used to seeing cops only in a certain way.
Very, very physical. Shouting.
He was so cool, so calm, but when needed, he was so intimidating. And so it was so refreshing to see someone break that and perform something. So that was also there. Although that character was very different, but just as a cop, I mean, one of my most favorite ones would be that.
So these are the top 5 favorites of your career. Tell me, you belong to Himachal Pradesh, right? And it's like a beautiful, like a small hamlet, as opposed to the entire landmass that surrounds it. Delhi, Uttar Pradesh and Rajasthan are like quite action-oriented states, a lot of action there. While Himachal Pradesh is this quaint, beautiful place, जहाँ पे crime भी नहीं है, and It's like a very silent, calm place to grow up in. How was your childhood, and your father actually is also a media person, right? He's also a director. He owns a media network.
No, he doesn't own it. He
doesn't?
Works.
He works at a senior level. He works in a media network. And your two sisters. She's also an actor.
Yes, and a brother. I have a brother.
And a brother too. So while growing up, how did these dreams of becoming an actor enter your mind?
I'm born in Himachal, but I've been raised in Chandigarh. So my schooling happened in Chandigarh.
Okay.
But summer vacations were always about visiting home in Himachal to my nanny's place, which is very, like, that's the thing. Garmi ki chuttiyan nani ke ghar jana hai. Summers were always about Himachal. And my father, yes, he's never liked me talking about, you know, he gets a little embarrassed. So I don't talk much about his work. But might I say, I've seen him work and struggle his way through to work and reach where he is with a lot of hard work and dignity. That's one thing he didn't compromise. And I come across sometimes certain comments that, oh, she's also from the industry. That's not called. That's not from being industry. He's a self-made man, and I'm a self-made actor myself. And yes, I really value my father's perspective, which is very, very important for me. But he has his own journey, his own hardships, which were very, very hard. And I know his stories, and I have mine. And then together we celebrate, you know, so that. Sweet. So, and I never grew up with the idea of becoming an actor.
Yeah, you wanted to be
I grew up in Chandigarh. I wanted to become an IAS officer.
Wow.
So we never discussed anything at home. It was never my father who called up anyone that please take her. No, that's not how it happened. My first audition didn't happen like that. So in fact, you know, somebody was calling, one of our family friends, they were calling, you know, us some production house. They must have gotten to know that someone, my uncle must have met me. They were going to Himachal only, and Chandigarh bypass hota hai. So they stayed at our place for one night, and they said, oh, such a nice, pretty, you know, so good looking, and why don't you try? I'm like, okay. No, I don't want to. I didn't say anything. I just picked up my books and I ran away. And they just took some ghar ka pictures, and then they were calling. I said, I'm no way letting my father spend money for an air ticket or even for, you know, or however. I'm not going to Mumbai. And but they said, can you give an audition? I said, yes, I will, because I used to enjoy. I remember I was a closet dancer. I was a closet. I used to impersonate my teachers in a good sense, or anyone, not just teachers, but anyone. I used to enjoy that. Only my best friends knew that I can do that. So, and I used to love performing on stage, but just till there. Otherwise, I was a very quiet person. I was not comfortable with the idea of ever being in the center of attention anywhere, or the spotlight has to be on me. Never. I would be in the corner for 2 hours, you won't even get to know. So that happened. So and I've seen how much he's, like today it's so easier for us. You have so many platforms and actors have so many any newcomer has so many avenues today. Back then there was hardly anything. I was talking to Pankaj ji. Pankaj Kapoor sir, we worked on Lost, जो अभी release होगी. What a great actor, what an institution. तो वो यही बात कर रहे थे कि उस टाइम तो कुछ होता ही नहीं था, and we had families to run. We had gotten married and there were families to run, और कुछ भी नहीं होता था, and तब भी we were so passionate about, you know, कि वही काम करेंगे, वही अच्छा काम जो अच्छा होगा. You know, he said there was also a time where some people would get offended अगर आपने script मांगी.
Really?
You know, yeah.
He said that.
Yeah, I mean, not just him. We know that. We've heard these stories that but today, can you imagine that if someone's not giving you, you know, a script, because that's the process. That's the way it is. So a lot of things. That's how, you know, slowly and steadily things are changing and evolving for the good, which is a must.
And कुछ हिमाचली में मुझे भाषा अच्छी से तो कुछ सुनाइए, कुछ बताइए, कुछ सिखाइए.
मुझे मम्मी ने बोला कि पहले तुम मेरे साथ प्रैक्टिस करोगी, फिर कैमरा पे बोलोगी. Sometimes you mix Pahari and Punjabi both. So what happens, because अलग अलग हर 10 किलोमीटर बाद भाषा बदलती है। तो कई बार खड़ी पहाड़ी होती है, कई बार कांगड़ी पहाड़ी होती है, कई बार बिलासपुरी पहाड़ी होती है। सो इट्स आई कीप टेलिंग आई से मम्मा इट इज दैट पहाड़ी बट व्हाट शुड आई से तुहां वास्ते क्या बोलना, तुहां बहुत बहुत खरे हन, थोड़ा शो बहुत ही खरा है। मैं तुहां जो किन्ने साल जान दी हाँ गल कर दे और थोड़ी स्माइल थोड़ा गल थोड़ियां गल्लां थोड़ियां बातां थोड़ियां ऑनेस्टी इज वेरी स्वीट कने अहाँ तुहां जो किसी दिन पहाड़ी ताम खुआंगे
खुआंगे। Great, Yami. What a pleasure it is to see you on screen with such a beautiful face and often portraying very tough roles. It's a nice combination, you know. It's a nice combination of बहुत strong roles. While God gave you a body that is so looks vulnerable, looks sweet and petite, but you dare to do things that others haven't dared to. And congratulations on completing 10 years in this industry. You deserve much more.
Yeah, I will party tonight. Thank you, Atika. Thank you so much.